welcome back to our mini workshop on songwriting, and this is part 3. So now you have your lyrics, you have your melody, and you're ready to add an accompaniment. Accompaniments are a major player. They can be really simple, but they can also add all sorts of different colors and moods and tones to your songwriting. They can get really fun once you get the hang of them. I love using orchestrations. That's lots of instruments, or you can just have even one. And pianos and guitars are really useful because they play chords. I'm just going to show you how a chord works. You remember last week we talked about the melody. In our simple song, it's just based on 1 octave in C major. This is the scale. Now each of these notes is a degree of the scale, and they're given names, but there's another way of thinking of them. You can call them the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is the same as 1. Now chords are notes stacked up on those degrees of the scale. So the first chord is the first note, the third note, and the fifth note. So that's like that. And then we can do that all the way up the scale. But you don't even have to worry about knowing all these chords. Many songs, a blues just uses 3 chords, the first, the fourth, and the fifth. But even in our song, there's only 4 chords. We've got the first chord, the 6th chord, the 4th chord, and the 5th. And between those, we've covered every note in the octave. See, there's 1 free. Then we've got 4 and 6, and then we've got 1, 3 and 6, and then the 5th chord has 2, 5 and 7. So we've covered every note that you might need to use. All right, now accompaniments are made up of melodic elements and harmonic elements, and the harmonic elements are the most important. But you might remember certain riffs that you've heard in songs, little patterns that go around and around, or what we call counter melodies, which are melodies that play while the singer is singing, but are different, or that come in between. They're nice little melodic additions to what the singer is singing. But today we're just going to focus on those 4 chords and how you can make them fit. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly. So here's our little song, and these are the 4 chords. Yep. 1, 6, 4, and 5. And when we get to the chorus, they're in a slightly different order because the melody's different. 4, 5, 1, and 6. Okay, so I'll stop sharing because it's probably helpful for you to see what's going on my hands. So here's the first chord. Yeah, now I've put it here. The reason being is that then I can move very easily to this chord, which is the 6th chord, and very easily to the 4th chord, and then it's just a little jump back to the dominant chord. Now can you hear that chord wants to move back to this? That's called, what we have here is an imperfect cadence. It moves and it wants to go back to the tonic. And later on we have the chords in a different order. That's an interrupted cadence. Doesn't really matter what they're called for now, but you can feel that it creates a sense of movement. Now, if I go back to the score, you can see here, this note, there's the C, and that's the C in the melody. And there's the E in the melody, and we're back to the C. And this chord has the F, and this bar has the C and the F. Now you can see that there are other notes that are not in the chord. We call those passing notes, and they work. It's fine. So we've got, I'm sitting at the, so that note isn't in the chord, but it's just passing through, so it's okay. Yeah? And that one isn't in the chord, but it's passing through. And here, this note and this note are in the chord, but these 2 are not. But again, they're passing through. We call them passing notes. And this note is in the chord. And when we get later to the chorus, we've got the C. When the notes and music in the chord, but it's passing. Can you feel that it creates a bit of tension, which then is resolved? And then this is a gap. Remember last time I said there were lots of gaps and that the accompaniment can fill them up. So, and when the notes and music, and the piano takes over. Find a way to go together. Now you'll notice that when I sang the chorus, I'm moving the chords more. Yeah, so we're playing them twice as often. Now that changing the pattern, the rhythmic pattern, is a way to add interest. So you don't just have to do one bar for a chord. You can actually change the chords more often, and that gets more advanced. But for now, we're still keeping one chord per bar, but we can shift the pattern. We could even do, I'm sitting at the piano and making up a song. You can change the rhythm, or you could do this. You could start and split the chord up. Can you see top notes are playing first and then the thumb in the right hand? I'm sitting at the piano and making up a song. Yeah, or you could even break it up even more. Oh, I missed a chord, so. If you get really ambitious, you might want to move them down. And can you hear how each different pattern creates a different feel and creates either more movement or less movement? And depending on the mood of what you're singing, what your melody is and your lyrics, you can mess about with things like that. Now, as you get more advanced with this, you might want to jazz up the chords. So, for instance, I would probably be inclined to add a major seventh. I'm sitting at the piano. It's very clashy though, yeah? And making up a, oh, hang on. I'm sitting at the piano, and then, and making up a song. And it just adds a bit of richness. And you might even have, sometimes we have what we call suspended chords. They want to resolve up or down. Can you hear that? And that again comes down to experimenting and just having fun with it. But really for now, you can just have a lot of fun just with these 4 chords without adding any notes. Yeah, or you could do, if you really want to get moving. Yeah, so there's all sorts of things. Or so that's the bass first, then the right hand, so left, right. So you can see that there's all sorts of things you can do with these very simple chords. And then if you feel like it, for instance, we could do, I'm sitting at the piano and making up a song. And so we add a little melodic element into the accompaniment as well, and that just gets more and more interest into your song as you feel more and more comfortable. So there you go. You can have a lot of fun playing around with your lyrics and your melody. Oh, now I should just say, you can see that we've talked about how the chords fit. Now you might find that you've made a melodic line and it doesn't really fit. So for instance, maybe you felt really sad and you said, I'm sitting at the piano, and did a blue note. Now sometimes you might just want to adjust that chord a little bit to fit with your melody, and that's okay too, because you might then go back to the original key and the original chord that fits. So we can call that, it's called a altered chord. You can alter things. Nothing is stuck, it's all movable, and it's up to you and your ear and how you perceive your song, and hopefully it'll all come out harmonious and really fun for you. So that's a little bit about harmony. It's a bottomless pit of knowledge I'm learning every day. how to extend harmonies and change keys and use pivot. I mean, I just play around with it all the time, and it's so much fun. So I really encourage you just to learn as much as you can, experiment and enjoy your songwriting. So that's all there is from me for this little mini course. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're brave enough just to sit down and have a go at making up your own song. See you again sometime. Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Please like and subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Have a nice day.